All right, guys, welcome back. So this is just going to be a little quick update to our Easythreed K9 3D printer. I've had it for a little over a week now. Remind you that this is my first 3D printer, and it has taken a lot of trial and error to even get it to the point that I'm at now. It's running, but I just want to update on what's something on my shirt? Nope. All right. What we've learned so far. So you'll remember in the first video that our very first print was this little rocket ship with the plastic or the filament that they provided with the thing. The second print that I did was this little cat. It's kind of cute, right? But yeah, so I kind of explored a little bit, and I started with a new type of filament. The main reason I got this was so that I could print like little Dungeons and Dragons figurines and stuff. And what says Dungeons and Dragons like a goblin? If I can get the camera to focus. So just for reference, this is the size that it came out. And so I started fooling around with the sizes in the, I was using some weird software that they provided that wasn't in English, but they also provided this one called Cura, and I messed around with that enough, and I learned how to change the size of things. And this one came out pretty decent. Initially, it was building supports around the entire thing, and when I go to take the supports off or to take them off the raft, they tend to lose their legs. So we'll just kind of go over the little botched ones that I did. And this was supposed to be cane, which, I mean, it is cane. Quality's okay. He also lost his leg, the tip of his scythe. If I remember correctly, yeah, I had to super glue his scythe back on because his whole hand came off. This one probably took about 3 hours. This one took about 8. And then I was like, all right, so maybe I'm a little too ambitious. This was probably like my first decent quality print. And as you can see, I changed out the filament type. This is some like silk one that I got I didn't get it with it, but I ordered it around the same time as the 3D printer. So that's a little Cubone Skull keychain. And then, like, keeping true with the Pokemon theme, this is a Pikachu cosplaying as a Gengar, which I did have a bigger one. It was probably, I'd probably say about 50% bigger than this one, but my son really liked it, so I gave it to him. And then this was a pumpkin Pac-Man in the spirit of Halloween, because that was just a couple of days ago. This one turned out really good. There's some like weird stuff going on here, which I think that's because when it printed like this, because that's the way it came, and I just wanted to see what would happen. This one took probably about 4 hours, and then it also had little ghosties, because, you know, Pac-Man and the little ghoulies. And then here's our little dwarf paladin. He also lost his feet, so I had to hot glue those back. This one turned out really nice. Another filament change also, as you can see in the cool little color sheen change there. I changed the support type to where it only builds supports for like these little overhanging areas where it touches the build plate. And then I just kind of sized him up. So just for reference, his little helmet wing is jacked up. This guy also lost a foot that I had to hot glue back on, but like pretty clean on the back. These little intricate details, it doesn't like too much, but I mean, I'm still pretty happy with it for a 3D printer that I spent 40 bucks on. And then I tried to print out, because I saw these cool things at Comic-Con. They're like little articulated where they move in a slinky fashion, but this was a lizard. It didn't want to stick to the build plate here, and so it wouldn't come off the raft. It just all kind of fused together. And then as you can see, he lost little bits of his tail. And I think this is mostly just user error. And then this little dragon thing, or lizard thing, he kind of melted into the raft. I don't think that I raised him up high enough off of the build plate in the software, but that's all right. And we've got quite a bit of waste here. Not too mad about it though. I want to figure out a way to recycle that. And so this thing that hangs off the back that holds the filament like this, I feel like it struggles to pull the filament, and I don't want to burn the motor out on this side here. So I kind of rigged up here, and that seems to be doing all right. We're currently working on this little Viking style house, which I'm going to try to do in 2 parts. This one said it was going to take about 4 hours, and as you might notice, I switched off from the if I can find them. Oh, I switched off from doing it through the USB, because plugging it in and then transferring it and then having to transfer it here, and then it was just becoming a little bit of a pain. But I did figure out this blue cord that I thought was the power cable when I first set it up. Actually will let you print it straight from their slicing software to the printer. So far, it looks really clean. One thing that I'm struggling with now is, like, there's all these little pieces like here that are sticking to the build plate that I think are kind of interfering with the build altogether. So if you come across this and you are a savant at the 3D printing, and you know how I could clean that or fix that, remedy that in any sort of way, that would be fantastic. But I'm happy, honestly. I don't think that I could have spent $40 any wiser. Now, I do want to push this thing to its limits, so I'm going to try to do something probably around like the 10 to 15 hour mark when I have the time to kind of babysit it, because it makes me really nervous and I don't want it to like freak out and burn my house down. But anyways, if you have any comments on maybe how I can upgrade this thing, which I think it'd probably be easier just to shell out and get a semi-decent one. Oh, mail lady's here delivering more stuff. Shell out and get a decent one. I've been hearing a lot about the Ender 3, which they don't seem to be too bad. But yeah, I'm gonna start maybe looking at like printing some upgrades for this thing, mainly the filament spool, because I don't think that my wife is gonna be too happy with this stuff. She's already kind of annoyed with the lack of counter space since I took over the little bit that we did have. We're in the middle of a move, so there's just stuff everywhere. Anyways, thank you. If you have any recommendations, go ahead and drop them down in the comment section. One thing I did want to mention is I did turn the speed of the print down, and I have noticed a much better quality. And I've also increased the size of the distance between the build and the little raft that it does. And it's been great. So I guess what I'm really curious about, because I've watched countless hours on YouTube and searched the internet on, there's just not a lot of information on like maintaining the thing. Because I know, I mean, there's a lot of moving parts and eventually they're gonna get wore out. I just wanna keep it operational. This thing has probably got about 70 plus hours of runtime, obviously not consecutively. There was a couple of days where I just didn't do anything with it, but like, good job. For somebody who knows nothing about this, it was easy to set up. Minor learning curve on the software side of things, but other than that, you know, good job. Anyways, thank you.